Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
A very, very good day to you wherever you are in the world. I am overjoyed and thrilled to be welcoming an amazing guest on this Live, Learn, Teach, Inspire series. It really is an absolute honor and a joy to have incredible people walk through the door here as our organization and then have the opportunity to come and share their knowledge and areas of expertise, their passion, their vision, and their focus. And this evening, or it's evening time here in the United Kingdom and evening time over in Europe, but I know in certain parts of the USA it's still afternoon, in some parts it's even morning, and in other parts of the world it's late into the night or early morning. So a very, very warm welcome. Today on Live, Learn, Teach, Inspire, we have an incredible woman who is all the way originally from Albania, and she really has always had this incredibly strong calling to go out there and help others and share her knowledge in areas of experience. Originally, this amazing young lady qualified and is a certified midwife, so that in itself, you have to say hallelujah, and that's just the most incredible thing. And in my opinion, anyone in that realm or industry should have a sainthood. And this young lady definitely is very close to it, I'm sure. But something that sparked this young lady into action to join our Train the Trainer program was her wonderful passion for etiquette and manners, emotional intelligence, mindset. And she came on this journey with us, reasonably timid in those days, and has blossomed into an amazing, incredible person. She is now a certified, globally accredited etiquette coach and trainer, and she really is absolutely passionate about giving people guidance and steering in their lives. So without further ado, I would like to bring in to the wonderful studio we have here, and thanks to USA Global TV for hosting us on this amazing platform. And this is Enkeleda Hoxha, all the way, not from Albania, but all the way from beautiful Italy.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Philip. It's a pleasure to be here today.
Always a pleasure. Enkeleda, I know you've got some wonderful material lined up for us.
Yes, I can't wait to share everything.
Please tell us what you're going to be sharing with our wonderful audience.
Okay, let's move on. Hello, everybody. I'm Enkeleda. I'm so passionate about self-improvement, and I'm here today to share with you in this webinar everything that I've learned during this period of time, mistakes that I've made, lessons that I've taken, trainings, lessons, books that I've read. I've concluded it, and here we are in this webinar. We are going to talk about mindset, confidence, and emotional intelligence. That's it.
I know you've got a lot that you can share with everyone, and you talk about mindset, confidence, and emotional intelligence. Should we start off with the mindset side of things and your guidance and steering on that?
Yes. I've taken a self-improvement journey as everybody takes in their life. And I believe that we are all in a never-ending journey of self-improvement. So let's share what I've learned during this period of time on mindset, since I believe that it is the wheel of our life. Should I move on, Philip?
Yes, go ahead. Just go straight in and enjoy.
Okay, let me share a story first thing. I will start with going back 15 years ago, when I was just a child. I was given the work to make a public presentation, and after that public presentation, was given feedback that I wasn't born a public speaker and I should never speak on public again. This is where everything starts. This was said to me by the same teacher that gave me the work of making a public presentation in front of the school, and without giving me any advice on how to do it or any directions on where I should look at. And I remember that as a child, I tried to do my best, but somehow I failed. And I remember very well that I was literally shaking at that moment. You know, you might have had these moments as well when your mind doesn't seem to work properly and you can't even read the words that you have in front of you. That's what happened to me. I couldn't read at the notes that I had in front of me, and I couldn't even look at the people. I was literally shaking. Then came the feedback that, Enkeleda, you are a very good girl, but you should never try to speak on public again. Just imagine how I felt at that moment. In fact, I knew that I could do it. So I tried to do it again a few years after that. And guess what? I failed again. But you know, there is a saying that I believe so much. I haven't failed. I have just found 1,000 ways that don't work. That's what mindset is for me. I consider it to be the wheel of our life, the one that directs us in our life, the one that guides us to have what purpose do we have in life, how we are in relationships with each other, with ourselves, at work, how we see success and failure. And you know, how can mindset do that? Just one word, mindset. But you know, I believe that mindset is a powerful thing, and I'm so happy that we're sharing this today. To better understand how mindset works, let me mention very shortly the two mindsets, the two major mindsets, the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. Now, very shortly, so that we are at the same page, the fixed mindset is considered to be the one where one believes that your basic qualities are carved in stone. And that, in fact, creates an urgency to always prove yourself. On the other hand, the growth mindset, it is believed that your basic qualities are things that can be improved throughout life, through training, through learning, life experiences, lessons from others, even help from others. And you don't even know what a person can become, who a person can become, with years of dedication, passion, self-improvement, learning, training, applying. And this is the essence of a growth mindset. Philip, do you have any thoughts on the essence of mindset that I just shared?
The mindset, you know, it really is so powerful. And it's something that, like you said, you know, you haven't failed. You just found so many different ways.
Yes, yes.
And this is what life is about. And we do have the ability to develop our mindsets, and everything in our world it starts with our heads, right? It does.
Yeah.
And we you know, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're both right. So you're so right, and you're so on point about how we can really develop a positive growth mindset and look at everything with as an opportunity. And I think this is something that we've shared in common. And many years ago, I was listening to an amazing lady on a program which I used to produce, which is called Hope, Inspiration, and Transformation. And this woman used this incredible analogy. A lot of people say, why is this happening to me? Oh, poor me.
Yeah.
But actually, why is it happening for me? What is it doing for me? And I think these are the ways we can find these amazing tools.
Yes, that's it. But you know what stands in the middle? Why people get stuck in the fixed mindset and can't see what you are seeing? Let me explain what it is.
Go
It
ahead.
is the patterns of thought that we have, that we create in life. You know, it is like living inside of a cage, and stopping yourself from a lot of things, saying, for example, putting yourself into overprotection, self-neglect, or even victim mentality. There is a list of 50 patterns of thought, and I'm not putting it in here since I don't want anyone to label themselves today. I just want you to feel the motivation that you can become better, that you can take that positive mindset that you are looking for. So just become aware of your patterns of thought or the thought that you might have currently, and know that you can do the work to move to a better and a more positive mindset. Um, Now that I've explained somehow the patterns of thought very shortly, but I have mentioned them, let me move on to the next thing that I want to mention, the conscious and unconscious mind, and how does that work, so that you can connect the dots and understand how your patterns of thought are created. Okay, what is the conscious and unconscious mind? Now, we are all conscious that a lot of things happen without us even noticing, and we do a lot of things without us even noticing. We have this memory card where everything stays. You are doing a lot of things in autopilot. Maybe you are driving the car, you have learned it once, and you do it unknowingly. And it is considered to be 90% of our mind. The unconscious mind is considered to be 90% of our mind. So really understand that it takes a very huge part of our brain. So we are usually doing things in a very unconscious way. And what we want to do is to do things in a conscious way, to use our conscious mind to our advantage. How can we do that? By purposefully, intentionally looking at our own thoughts. What are we telling to ourselves? What are you telling to yourself about the world, about yourself, about the way you are created, your patterns of thought, or the way you live life, or your attitude? Do you believe that you were born like this, or you just created these thoughts somehow? Just really take the time to look at your own thoughts and understand that you can move to a more positive state. Now, let me tell you something that is not mentioned a lot. It is how our unconscious mind doesn't let us move to a more positive state. Now, we all have our own habits. We all have our own comfort zone. And whenever you try to do something new, for example, you might have tried this for yourself. For example, you have tried to implement in your life a new habit, but it seems like it hasn't worked. You know what? It is because your unconscious mind is giving the response that you are trying to do something new, and only that. But by trying to do it on repeat, by practicing it a lot, persistence, this is why persistence is so important, because you have to do it, to practice it a lot of times, and until it becomes a habit of yours and moves in that unconscious mind. Just think of the presentation that I made. If I did let that presentation define me, and if I did close the road to the presentations ever, I wouldn't be here. But since I know that you have to practice the habit that you want to have, that you want to become better at, I am here today to practice it. Philip, what are your thoughts on what I just shared?
That's amazing. And it is everything in life is about, it's habitual. You've got to create good
Yes, that's it.
Those are those good habits, Enkeleda. And firstly, if there's anyone out there listening right now and you want to comment on that, would you have said that looking at Enkeleda now, she's coming across with confidence, she's speaking eloquently, English is not her mother tongue, she is coming across and I'm understanding and you're resonating with me in a really wonderful and dynamic way. And this just goes to show how powerful creating good habits is, how powerful it is to shift your mindset. And nothing is ever achieved unless you truly first imagine it. You really and truly have to do that. And I know Dr. Jacqueline might have some comments, or there might be a comment popping up onto the screen. So I would love to see if we can share anything. Nice way to tell the proper thing to see in your life. Absolutely, Swasi. That's beautiful. Absolutely. Love it. And please send your comments in. Interact with us as best you can. It would be absolutely wonderful to hear from you. And yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head. I really, really do. And what would be amazing is how can we, use this mindset scenario in our day-to-day lives and shift into positivity? What would you suggest?
Yes, I have a lot of suggestions today. And one of them just came across of my mind. The message that we just had, the comment that we just had, was from a friend of mine. And this is where the suggestion comes. Surround yourself with positive people, since your mindset, you don't build your mindset only on your own. You need to surround yourself with good energy as well. You know, that energy takers and givers that we mention a lot. And let's move on to another thing that can connect all these dots. I'm going to introduce to you the CBT triangle, which seems from another planet, but let me explain it very simply. It is the cognitive behavior therapy triangle. It is used in therapy from therapists to explain to their patients how our emotions are related to our thoughts and the way we act. Now, to better understand how this works, let's use the same example I used before. Let's take the event. I gave a presentation. I didn't do well. What were the thoughts that I had? That I'm not good enough. Because, I started to compare myself. I really remembered how I started to compare myself with others. Because I had seen others do very well. I didn't know how much work it took for them, but I had seen others do it very well, and I started to compare myself. Now, one part of the triangle. Let's see the other one. How did that show in my body and in my face? Body language, emotions. Nobody knew how I was feeling, but our own emotions show in some ways in our body. And I remember very well that I did close my body so much, and that shows lack of confidence, but also it gives an indication that I was feeling stressed. I remember how red I became. I've always been a little bit shy, but that wasn't the case. I was feeling very bad at that moment. God knows how much anger and frustration or disappointment I was feeling at that moment. And I can tell you that the way I acted was how this triangle goes on. I did become very avoidant, even with friends. I couldn't even speak to friends, to groups of friends, for a very long time, since I didn't see myself worthy enough to speak in front of others. Now, this is to explain, let's consider this triangle the core of our webinar, because we are mentioning today the mindset, the emotions, and the way we act. And how do we want to act? Confidently. How can we move to a more positive state? By making a mindset shift. How can we do that? By first thing, identifying what mindset do you currently have. How does it happen? By questioning yourself. You understand somehow, and don't take it very, as I said, there are two major mindsets, but you might have thoughts and beliefs from each one of them, and just don't take it under fixed or growth. Just know that you can move to a better state. The first thing that I mentioned was to identify the current mindset that you have, and to really understand how did this mindset, what was the core that started this mindset. Because I believe that you were not born with it. Someone somehow gave it to you, even unknowingly. I'm not putting blames here. I'm not putting blames even on my teacher, because, having a little bit of empathy now, but God knows what he has been through. Maybe someone else gave it to him as well. So don't put blames on others. Just try to understand where you are at this point. Then have self-awareness about your own thoughts. How does that happen? By questioning yourself when something positive or negative happens. What are your thoughts? What are you telling to yourself at that moment? Stop, consciously stop, and try to move to a more positive state. Look at the thoughts that you have. And a very dear advice comes right now, to have patience, since you didn't build that mindset in just one day or in 1 hour session of webinar, and you can't change it in just one day. Know that it takes a lot of work, but believe me that you are so worth it, that you deserve to move to a more positive state, to become better. So do the work that it takes and become a better person.
I love that. Love that. No, it's really, such useful tools coming out there. And one of the things that really, I think, resonated with me there is, well, many things resonated with me there, but it really does boil down to you focusing on where you want to go in life. And so it's almost creating that mind map for yourself and seeing yourself in that light. And really, it does take a long, long time. It takes a huge amount of time to build good habits. I think statistics tell you, and research from Harvard University, it's 63 days to build a really good habit, and it takes at least 21 days to get rid of a bad habit. So understand that, as you rightly said, Enkeleda, you've got to challenge yourself every single day, and you can shift your mindset 100%. I know there's another commenter that's come through. We have Andrea Alves. Hello, Andrea. How are you? Lovely to see you. And it is really, I love your comment. It's an important topic for development. Being in a positive state is not easy, but with practice, we achieve the purpose. And that really is, Andrea, all the way from Brazil. Obrigado. Thank you so much for your...
Thank you so much.
Your lovely message. And so I know we've given some really nice sort of insights into the mindset side of things, which now, what you have definitely alluded to as well is you need to be self-aware. And your self-awareness is actually going to support you on your journey with your mindset. Is that correct?
Yes, that's it.
So I'd love you to open up a little bit about the habits and the affirmations and the self-talk we can incorporate into becoming more self-aware and more dynamic as human beings.
Yes. Let me start with a few suggestions that I have, because I have been through this journey myself. And when you are trying to make a mindset shift, you get stuck a lot, because you might want others to have the same mindset, for example, or you might want others to change as well, or you might even challenge yourself in many ways. But understanding that you don't have control over a lot of things, and accepting it and taking control over the things that you can control is very essential. What I suggest you to do is to take a piece of paper and a pen, to divide it in two parts. In one part, write can control, and the other part, write I can't control. Now, very honestly, write down things that you can control and things that you can't control. For example, let me help you. You can control your own attitude, your own thoughts, but you can't control the way other people react, the way other people think, believe, live life, and so on. Because we have this tendency to want others to do what we want and to take control over them, but that doesn't happen, since it is not in our control, under our control. We sometimes, I have found this scenario very recently. I've seen this very recently. We get mad even at weather. How come it is a very bad weather today? You can't control weather. but you can control the way you think and the way you talk, the way you speak, the words that you choose. And that leads me to explain and to suggest you something else as well. Don't get mad at the weather. Look at the weather, take that mindset shift, do the work, move to a more positive state, make a statement. Oh, it is it is raining right now. What can I do? I'm going out. I need to take an umbrella with me. Isn't it very simple? Uh, this is where I am moving on now to suggest you something else, to move to a more positive state, even with the words that you choose. Now, let me tell you another story about myself. Uh, some months ago, I became a mother, and I had seen from other new mothers or from other people telling them, putting them names. Let's put it simply. And since I had seen that with others and I had done the work on my mindset, I knew that I didn't want to talk in that way to myself. So what I did was choose the words that I was saying to myself very intentionally with my conscious mind. I very intentionally looked at the mirror and thanked my body for all the good work that it had done. I knew all the changes that were happening, but that was normal. Understand that you can't control everything, but you can control a few things and take control over them. Really take control over the things that you can control. Philip?
Yeah, you just and a huge congratulations on becoming a mum. I mean, women.
Thank you.
We celebrated Women's Day the other day. Every day should be Women's Day. So yeah, amazing. And it's interesting how you've just taken and adopted this amazing outlook and approach on, that self-awareness and creating these amazing sort of habits for yourself and affirmations, because this doesn't come naturally for the majority of us. We have to, set our tasks down for us, and we need to understand the importance of our self-awareness. And that self-awareness, simply put, as you and I sort of have worked through these sort of scenarios, is it very much is that ability to notice what you're feeling and thinking, and why are you feeling that way, what is making you feel this way. And when you start to feel happy, sad, angry, irritated, we really need to, especially with the negative sort of thoughts, we need to take that moment and try to put our feelings into words so that we can really act rather than react. Because it's a gift, actually, being self-aware. And it's not about being awkwardly self-aware or awkwardly self-conscious. That's not what I'm talking about.
No.
Very much about that presence, that being present, being in the moment.
Yes, it's all about that presence of mind. That's what I believe.
Very much so. And Enkeleda, if you could elaborate when it comes to self-awareness, how powerful have you found tools such as self-love and positive talk and mantras? How have you found that in your journey?
That's work that I do a lot with myself, even when others are not noticing what you are doing. Do the inner work, because first of all, it is the inner work that you have to do. There are a lot of mantras around the internet, a lot of affirmations, but sit down with yourself and do your own work, not the work of others, because you are different from other people, and what you believe is not what others believe. So have mantras that really are true for you. What I suggest you to do is to look at the energy takers and givers in your life, and then look at the affirmations that you can use. I have very practical advices here, since I told you that I have been on this journey for a very long time. And when you are trying to move to a more positive state on your mindset, there are a lot of energy takers or other elements around you that you need to look at as well. Let me introduce them very shortly. What do you do first thing in the morning? Do you take the phone? That's what happens with most people. And I believe that you might be reading the news, or you are moving to social media, you are looking at your a friend maybe that is living a perfect life, and so on. But stop, become self-aware even about the energy that you have around you. Don't look at the news first thing in the morning, since it is going to affect your day and your mindset as well. Look at the social media and the people that you are really following. You don't need to follow everyone on social media. Stop, look at the people that you are following, and start doing some unfollowings. Maybe they are not giving you good energy, or you are not getting something from them anymore. So stop and unfollow some people. Look at the food that you eat. Look at how much sleep are you getting. Look at the people that you surround yourself. I mentioned here the friends. Look at the people that you surround yourself, since they are going to really affect the way you think and live life. Philip always says you are the amount of the 5 people you surround yourself with, and I really believe that it is true. He said that to us on our Train the Trainer, and it has stuck with me. Uh, Now, another advice that I'm going to give you is to look at your body, since we are built in one way that we have hormones. And I'm going to very shortly mention 4 of them, which we can very intentionally hack: the dopamine, the oxytocin, the serotonin, and the endorphin. I'm a midwife, I'm not getting this from nowhere. Now, you can very intentionally hack these hormones by going out, doing some meditation. uh, Maybe you can hack the endorphins by finding the love languages of the people that you surround yourself with and giving the love that they accept. uh, Another thing that you can do is to get some tasks done that you find yourself really good at and that might get you some satisfaction. And another thing that you can do is to smile, since it hacks the endorphins, and it is like throwing a party to your brain when you hack these hormones. Now, Philip, I have somehow concluded the mindset part, and I would really love to move to the emotional intelligence.
Wonderful. But before you shoot off into the EQ, emotional intelligence side of things, something that I really resonates there with me is, the adrenaline and your cortisol levels. We as human beings, we've got these chemicals in our bodies, and if you find tools to raise your energy and raise your adrenaline and knock down that cortisol, again, that's going to help you, because we all have good days and bad days as human beings at the end of the day. And it's really, once you've created these really good habits for yourself, and you're finding yourself in a good routine, a good rhythm, you surround yourself with amazing people, you've got rid of negativity, it really does start to play into your hands on a very positive way. Now, something you mentioned, which is fundamental: create good habits. Okay, so don't get up in the morning and pick up your telephone. There was a wonderful advert many years ago, and there was a couple lying in bed, and beautiful looking girl on the one side and a good looking gentleman on the other side. And as the man woke up, he didn't turn to his beautiful girlfriend, he turned to his mobile phone. And I think the music went, oh mon chéri amour. And we are so attached to our digital devices, whereas this disconnect is only detrimental to our relationships, and not only that, to our good habits. So find a rhythm, find a drum beat that really works for you, and work on it. I had to do that. Definitely. It wasn't because I was attached to my mobile phone, but I found I was procrastinating a lot, and it was affecting my mindset, it was affecting my mood, it was affecting my production. It was absolutely knocking me for a six. And so I had to find tools in order to do that. So I just love what you were sharing on that. And creating those positive mantras and using them on a regular daily basis, getting some proper exercise, going on those walks, getting good sleep. And again, things that are going to affect you with your journey and how you feel about yourself is what we eat as well. So there's so many moving parts to this. It's not just one thing. not just
Yes. And
only.
what we are lacking a lot, sorry for interrupting you, what we are lacking a lot is the dopamine hormone, as I see, because people try to find it on their mobile phones, the dopamine, to get dopamine, one thing after the other, one thing after the other. And that is one thing that I have seen recently.
So true. And Kalida, I know we've got another comment which I'd love to come bring up onto the screen, which is just amazing. So we've got Louise. Hello, Louise. How are you? So happy to hear you. Hi, Kalida. I love your weather and umbrella analogy as regards to handling what we can and cannot control in our lives. And that is so true. It is so true. You know, whether we like it or not to bring doom and gloom into this world, but there are a couple of things that are for sure. One day, unfortunately, we're going to depart this world and we will get taxed. So those are two things, but again, you can't control those either. So we really do need to find tools and ways of things we can take care of, and other things we need to accept, and find ways to use that acceptance. That is fundamental. But again, going back to creating those really good habits and mantras. You know, when we speak, we give life to our words. Okay, so if you wake up and you say, "I'm a really rubbish mum," that you've given life to those words.
Yes.
You've heard it, maybe your child's heard it, maybe your husband's heard it, your partner. Those words have become alive. So if we have negative thoughts coming into our minds, hit them hard in your mindset. Do not verbalize them, because the moment we speak, we give life to our words. And on that note, this definitely is a really lovely way to lead into emotional intelligence. So on the emotional intelligence front, I would love you to sort of really give us some ideas of how we can find some tools to become better with emotional intelligence. And just before you jump into that, for those of you out there who have not heard the term EQ, emotional intelligence, or not overly familiar with it, the beautiful thing about emotional intelligence, it's something we can work on and develop. Our self-awareness, our emotion management, our empathy, our social skills, all of those aspects of our lives we can absolutely work on. Whereas our IQ is not something we can really develop too much. So our emotional intelligence and emotionally intelligent people will soar like an eagle. People with good emotional intelligence, honestly, is just a gift, and you can work on it and you can build your EQ. So I would love you to come up with some practical tools or steps for a better for developing better EQ.
Yes, I have very good advices today for emotional intelligence. So, as you mentioned, emotional intelligence is understanding, using, and managing your own emotions as well as the emotions of other people. I've divided this in two parts: self awareness about your own emotions and the emotions of others. Now, let me tell you something about emotions. Let's use the same example I used before. I did put names under the emotions that I was feeling, even though at the time I believe that I couldn't put names. I just told you that I was red and I became like this. I closed my body. But this is because we are not that good at identifying our own emotions. And here comes my advice: to try to identify the emotions that you are feeling when something positive and negative happens. uh, let's say conflict happens and you tend to react to it. What I suggest you to do is to stop and try to identify what are you feeling on your body and what are your thoughts at that moment. What are you feeling in your head? What are your feelings at that moment? This is to better understand what kind of emotions you are feeling and to move yourself from the emotion, to distance yourself from the emotion so that you don't identify yourself with an emotion. I am not disappointment. I am not anger. I am Enkeleda. I am feeling this because of something. What the emotion is trying to do is trying to communicate to me something. And this is what you can do: to stop, look at your body. But how do we do this? Consciously, being present, having the presence of mind. And when something happens, trying to have that habit of stopping a little bit, making that pause and really understanding, what am I feeling? Where am I feeling it? What was I triggered by? What is this emotion trying to communicate to me? And really understand that you are not the emotion. Try to move on from that. Don't take the emotion. Don't identify yourself with the emotion. And don't even neglect the emotion, since what we usually do is, most of us do, is we neglect the emotion, we deny the emotion, and that leads to other things later. Since I explained to you the CBT triangle, and that leads to the way we think and the way we act then. So don't deny the emotion, own it, understand what the emotion is trying to communicate to you, and then understand what you can do with it by moving to a more positive state. Don't deny the emotion, since it is going to affect the way you think and the way you act. There are a lot of ways to understand what kind of emotions you are feeling. This comes with a lot of practice. I know we are here today to discuss about practice and the self-awareness, but you really need to do the work with yourself. And we are giving you the tools how to do that. So there are a lot of ways to understand what kind of states of emotions you are feeling. It is a positive or negative emotion, what kind of intensity it has. But don't identify yourself with emotion, and don't identify emotions as good or bad, because I heard this once. There are not good or bad emotions, there are just good or bad reactions to it. This is about yourself, self-awareness on your emotion. Yes, Philip?
Yeah, I just love that, that self-awareness. And again, you've put that so beautifully. And again, if you think about our self-awareness, think about the control. And I'm not saying being controlling, but that self-control. And it really is, it's going to exactly what you were just saying, thinking before we act. It's about, it gives us before, and as you know, Enkeleda, we use the tool, the 6-second rule, which we share with you, right, to adults. And that 6-second rule, so in other words, you're putting a few precious seconds or even minutes between feeling a very strong emotion and taking an action that you might regret. And that, we all do it, we're human beings. I popped the other day, not popped, but I got a bit frustrated with my wife, which in hindsight, and I apologized immediately, and I was like, gee, that was so silly. But I did allow my mood to dictate my manners, or dictate my mannerisms. And that is something which is really, really powerful. So wonderful tool, really wonderful tool. And tell me, Enkeleda, when it comes to
Other people.
when it comes to the power of emotional intelligence, again, about your empathy and seeking to understand, that is a huge part of the journey. Is that correct?
Yes, yes, it is. And let me tell you that I have done this mistake as well very recently, and there is not another thing that can make you feel worse, I guess, than reacting to the emotion and letting your mood dictate your manners. So here is where our advices come: how we are with other people, how we can manage them, not the people but their emotions, by really trying to understand what they are feeling. Imagine being part of a conversation and conflict arises. So what are your responses to it? You really understand that the other person is feeling a few emotions, but how do you identify them? Now, how can you do the work on other people? By trying to understand them, by seeking to understand, by really listening to understand what they are saying. And not what we usually do is that we listen to respond, because we might have another thought that we really want to share, and we don't want that thought to go away, so we don't even listen what they are saying. Listen to understand, seek to understand, maybe make a few questions if you don't really understand their point of view. You might get surprised what other people might want to share or might have to share, and let go of that judgment or prejudice that you might have, since we are all human, and what I suggest you to do is to really be empathetic. What you want others to be like with you. Try to be good to others as well. Don't expect others to be good to you if you can't be with them as well. So try to be empathetic by also being present, having that presence of mind that we mentioned a lot today. And another thing that you can do is take control over your body language, since you might be communicating something else. You might not be speaking, you might just communicating something else to them. Your expressions might do that. I have a very expressional face, and I communicate to others in many ways, and I didn't change it, or I didn't work on that area until people told me that I had it, and I started to do the work on that area as well. So try to look at your body language, what you are communicating to others, because you might not be trying to communicate that, but you are communicating even when you are not speaking. And if you can, stop and smile, because remember what we told before, what we talked about, the endorphins, they play a huge role when you smile. They hack your head, your mind, your brain. It's like throwing a party, we mentioned this. So if you can, if it is appropriate, try to smile and be empathetic with the other person. Philip, would you like to add something else? You are on mute.
Empathy is such a powerful tool, and we can all really take ourselves on a journey to understand how to become more understanding, more empathetic, more caring, more kind. And as you are very much an active part of the alumni, one of our alumni sent us a really fascinating article from Forbes magazine about that empathy has been identified as possibly the greatest skill a leader could have. And that to me is just so true. And it really does show and shine when you see empathetic leaders, because people want to be around them, they grow with them, they develop in an amazing way. And it really is so, so powerful. And, this is something that really has resonated with me in the sense that what you're sharing with people, it's not something that you turn on a light switch and all of a sudden the light comes on and then you turn the light switch off and everything goes back to dark. This is a lifestyle choice, and it is a choice, and it's something that takes effort. It's something that takes huge practice, but it's not something, you're not trying to create something that you aren't, because it's within us. You're just unlocking it in certain ways. You're finding those tools to unlock that incredible beauty and from within you. And you do, as an individual, you exude incredible energy, and there's an aura about you. And I'm sure if you meet someone in a coffee shop, the room would light up. If you walked into a networking event, the room would light up, because you bring your beautiful energy. And this is it. Energy is part of this whole journey. So I love with what you've been sharing with all of us, and I do hope people are taking a few little notes along the way. And this very much, when you start to look at this whole journey, it leads into confidence. It leads us to becoming more confident.
Yes.
And that is something I would love to sort of run past you is, how can we come across as being more confident? What are the tools that we need to incorporate to become that much more confident?
And know that I have a lot of things to say about this, since I used to lack confidence a lot. And even when I started, when I was part of Train the Trainer, you'd see that. But let's not talk about that. I used to lack confidence a lot, so that you could see me. I was in the room and you wouldn't even see me, because I used to close my body so much that I wasn't present. And now that I know what closed body language does to our body, to our brain, I really want to share it with you as well. Since, let me put it very simply, there are these two hormones, the serotonin and the, if I'm not wrong, the testosterone. Okay, let's say it very easily. There are two hormones that play a very huge role in your body, in how stress is shown. And when you have that that close body language, you tend to feel stress. Imagine feeling stressed just because you have the close body language. Now, here come our advices, our precious advices about opening yourself, opening your body. Don't come across as aggressive, but just very consciously open your body, have that good posture. When I was part of Train the Trainer, to become an etiquette trainer, I learned this beautiful thing from Philip. So imagine that you have a string over your head, on top of your head, and that someone is pulling it upwards. You will lift your head. Just imagine that you have your chin parallel to the floor and move your shoulders back. As simple as that. 3 simple steps. And this will open your body. And as people, we are very contagious. We will be contagious when we are around people, and when we have that close body language, others might take it as well. So try to do the work on your posture and take that open body language so that you do good to yourself and to others as well. Now, mentioning the contagious part, I have another suggestion or good thing to share with you. I mentioned it before as well, the effect that smile has about our health and what it does to our brain. Now, try to smile. Uh, okay, I have, Armstrong, the singer. I have a suggestion to make here about him. The singer of What a Wonderful World. He is always smiling. When you listen to him, he's always smiling, and it looks like he, even when he's singing, he's smiling. It is because what smile does, the effect of smile is that it makes your voice more pleasant. Listening to his songs, he's one of my favorites. Listening to his songs, it instantly raises your mood, makes you feel better. It's because he is always smiling, and it appears more likable and more friendly and even more confident. So the second thing that I mentioned was smile. Then having control about your voice, about the way you speak, about being conscious about the way you speak and making those intentional pauses when you want to make them, and you will appear more confident. Now, another secret, I will call it secret, but everyone knows it, but don't practice it, is your eye contact. Use your eyes to contact with people. Don't come across as inappropriate, but use your eyes when you talk with people, because it is the first indicator that one has confidence. Be intentional even with it, practice it a lot, and look at people when they speak or when you speak, since you will come across as more friendly, more likable, more confident, and people will want to be around you. Why do we love charismatic people? Philip mentioned it a little bit before. We love charismatic people since we are contagious and we want to be around shiny people. We want to be around good energy. So surround yourself with these good people. Philip?
Enkeleda, that's just great guidance. It really is. And yeah, I think there's so many great takeaways from there, that obviously we could expand on. Time is running away with us. I can't believe we're almost coming up for the hour. But it really does, you've summed up things beautifully in, how our EQ, our emotional intelligence, can be worked on and developed, how important it is to develop a really positive growth mindset, to really focus a lot on, how we approach every single day with the right sort of attitude, how to use certain tools to elevate your adrenaline, to get rid of the negative hormones, how to really, really bring things to light, even when we're having a struggling or tough sort of day. It's not really good English, having a day that we're struggling with. And it all sort of knits together. It's like a tapestry that gets knitted together. And I think this is something that a lot of people, if they take this on board and just start with one challenge, you don't need to look at everything in one go and look at it like a tidal wave, because that will knock you off your feet and it will make you feel quite anxious. But take step by step, just as you've done through your journey in life. And ladies and gentlemen, when I say Enkeleda was shy, and when I mentioned to Enkeleda that I want to get you speaking in public, she go, whoa, can we change the subject? You know, and it's about giving people these incredible tools, letting them feel very encouraged. And you know, in life is, if I can do it, so can you. If I can do it, why can't you? And that is how I want you all to sort of start to vision yourselves in life. Have a goal, have something where you want to go. How high do you want to jump? How far do you want to go in this world? And that's something, these tools you've given us on this amazing 1 hour session have been absolutely superb. And I know there's a comment coming through as well that is going to be coming up on the screen right now. And again, it's such a lovely comment, and it's from, we don't know who is this from. Dr. Jacqueline. It is from Dr. Jacqueline, who's just this
I can't wait to see that.
amazing. But I appreciate these insights, and it's important tips to help us take control of our thoughts, behaviors, and life. And that is just so, so true. And Enkeleda, I know that you are a young mum, and you've got a young baby, but you're a young mum as well, which is just wonderful. Anyone out there wants to get hold of Enkeleda and connect with her, I know you've got a waiting list of people that you're working with, but I can assure you that Enkeleda has got the most wonderful toolbox for anyone who wants to shift their mindset, to change their lives and put themselves in a positive direction. Please email Enkeleda on Enkeleda Hoxha, which is ENKELEDAHOYXHA.IT@gmail.com. And the Instagram handle is Enkeleda_etiquette. That's ENKELEDA_etiquette. So please reach out to Enkeleda, engage with her, share your vision, share your thoughts, and book some time with Enkeleda and let her take you on a journey and put you on another level.
Thank you for sharing that, Philip. I'm here to help you. I can help you. I've been in this journey for a very long time, but I understood that learning is nothing like acting. So one thing at a time, take your time, take practice, and act.
Stunning. Yeah, take your time, be gentle with yourself, and also celebrate your wins. Celebrate those wins. When you've taken yourself on this journey, celebrate those wins. I feel that a lot of us at times in life beat ourselves up, and we all go there. That's for sure. I could share quite a few stories on my own experience and my own existence thus far in my life, and it hasn't all been plain sailing, that's for sure. And it's really interesting because when we did our journey with Felicia K a few weeks ago on Wednesday, it was all about Valentine's and about relationships. One of the comments, or one of the questions from one of our wonderful listeners was, how do you maintain this? How do you do this? How do you take yourself to this level? And it is all about implementation. It's all about aligning yourself in the direction you want to go and really staying focused and not listening to the negativity and not listening to the noise that people are whispering in your ear. It's your journey. It's your life. Follow it, and follow with passion.
Thank you so much, Philip. It's been a wonderful time. I'm so grateful to everyone that has joined us today. Thank you so much for being here.
Huge gratitude to you, Enkeleda. Thank you for being in this world. Thank you to all our wonderful audience and people out there, either listening on the radio or visually, or going to watch this on a repeat or replay. Please do share the Live, Learn, Teach, Inspire journey. We're running one of these every single month. You will get notice on this. This broadcast will be available on usaglobaltv.com, as well as on the British School of Excellence's YouTube channel. And I know Enkeleda will be putting it on her socials as well. Please reach out to Enkeleda at your convenience, and we look forward to seeing you at either the next webinar or the next show or the next Power of Etiquette and Manners, which takes place on a Friday at 3 p.m. UK time. And then off the back of that, we have an amazing new edition called Children Learn What They Live. And that is, again, an amazing opportunity for us to share and give some amazing tools and just throw it out there. So thank you so much to our producer, Dr. Jacqueline, to USA Global TV, Enkeleda. Mucho grazie. Mucho grazie. Grazie mille. And thank you so much to all the audience for coming in to watch us.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. Thank you. Thank you to everyone. Thank you.